On live.
I'm live, or is it countdown live? He means the countdown is live. Okay, cool. Let's go. Cool. Well, you got to just like
You can do anything you wanna do. My girls, you're so incredible. Don't get ready, you can do it. Anything you want, baby. Don't you know you drive
me. Check. What's good, y'all? I'm gonna get to it. Normally, I let our theme song play and everything, but we got things to do. And I'm late. I'm gonna take the blame this time. It's on me. So it's still my birthday, so y'all can be mad at me if you want to. You know we love y'all. Gang, Aries seasons all day. Yours truly here, DJ Nas, checking in for another dynamic edition of Pause for Applause podcast. We got some things to talk about, some people here, some special guests. But before we do that, let me introduce my partner in crime, the man on my right.
Shit, you like you had a tough time.
Yo, I forgot.
Y'all was Will, y'all. Will of Thrill, professional shit talk extraordinaire, love of the people, the culture, and everything about it. Yerrrrr.
How you feeling?
Sensational, my boy.
Good to see you, bro.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Good.
We up.
Yeah, we are. We talking fast because we had some technical things that I was causing. I'm out here breaking stuff. But I'm glad that we are here. I'm glad that y'all are here because we got a special guest in the house tonight. And Will will tell you, I love doing intros for our guests because it's an opportunity for me to frame a little bit of what the guest does and how their gifts are impacting other people. So I was thinking about that when you said you come on the show. And the brother we have on the show with us tonight, and I know y'all can see him already on the other camera, he has set the Instagram streets ablaze. Okay, in the last, I don't know what, maybe 90 days, if that, 90 to 120, somewhere around there. But you all will understand why. We've had our head-to-heads conversations and some disagreements, which we'll talk about. But truly, I'm just happy the brother's here. He's a very passionate person, a very intelligent individual. And I'm just glad he's here to share more of a lot of that we need to talk about as men, as fathers, as people of the community. So please join me in making noise for the one and only Mr. Picking and Choosing Will Maybaugh. Let's do it.
Let's go. Clap it up.
Thank you for being here, brother.
Man, thank you for having me, man.
First, what else would you like the people to know about you before we get started?
Really nothing, but I'll share something anyway. So I'll be 41 on Saturday.
Okay.
My birthday. So
happy birthday early.
Aries season.
I like it.
It's really indirectly Taurus season.
I was about to say that's on the cusp, right?
It was on the cusp.
Okay.
Now, so I'll be 41 on Monday. I'm originally from Gary, Indiana.
Okay.
I was raised in the cold tundra, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Lived in San Diego as a kid, lived in LA as an adult, been in Atlanta for the last 14 years.
Okay.
I used to be a professional model and actor. Did some successful stuff with that. I'm a father of 3 beautiful daughters. I have a beautiful lady in my life. And I got a lot of Black women I'm surrounded by. So when people hear what I have to say, they have to bump their brakes and realize I'm surrounded by Black women. I love Black women. All I care about is the Black community. And so when you listen to me, you have to put your thinking cap on. You have to kind of turn your heart off a little bit. And you have to kind of turn your brain on. And then if you do that, we'll get along just fine. If you don't, you ain't gonna like me.
Very well said, brother. Chris Tosh, what up? Where do we want to begin? What made you start your page? Let's start there.
Well, so I started a podcast back, when the pandemic happened. I started my podcast and I named it Picking and Choosing for a reason. And it's because I believe that people pick and choose whatever narrative fits their agenda. Right. So I tell people life is just live in this world. We have to learn to conform to the world. We all want the world to conform to us. And that's where picking and choosing comes from, right? I pick and choose what fits. I don't like that. I stay away from things I don't like. I only want to hear things I like. I only want to watch things I like. Cool. Well, the world's not going to stop because you don't like whatever is taking place. You have to learn to navigate this thing called life and not make everything about you. So I started it in 2020. And then I found out about Kevin Samuels because, you know, when I started talking about this content, people sent me a video. I was like, whoa. I was like, brother, my man nailed it when he did the average is best video, right?
Oh,
so I started watching some of his content and I was like, this brother says everything that I say, you know. So I decided to stop doing my podcast. I wrapped it up and I said, instead of trying to help women the way, well, let me back up. I started it because I wanted to help Black women, right? I got a lot of sisters. Well, I got 3 sisters. I got a lot of cousins. I got 7 aunts. You know, I got a lot of women I'm surrounded by. I got 3 daughters. At the time, I only had 2 daughters. And I got nieces. And so I said, our Black women are not getting what they want out of life. And I think I can help them get what they want out of life, regardless of my credentials, regardless of if I actually know what I'm talking about or not. That's what I believe. I believe I can help them, right? So I wanted to create a voice for myself, so to speak. So I started the podcast, and in doing the podcast, you know, it was gaining a little bit of traction. When I say a little bit of traction, I mean a little bit of traction, right?
Gotcha.
When you start a podcast, you don't just go viral. People start tuning in. You get a couple views. You watching your view count. It go from 50 to 70 to 100. You're like, oh, 100 people listen to what I had to say, right? Still trash on a scale of interactions with the general public, but people kept asking me, when is the next one? When is the next one? So, you know, started to get a small following. And I was like, okay, well, you know, I really don't know what the hell I'm doing. You know, I'm going off the cuff every week. And now it's a lot of pressure because now every week y'all looking for content. I'm not in the film and TV industry anymore. And when I was an actor. I didn't write anything.
They told you what to say. Yeah.
So when I started the podcast, it was just becoming kind of stressful, pressure, because I own a couple of companies. And so trying to do these podcasts on the side, it was like, a podcast is a business. Yeah. Everybody want to be a podcaster and they don't understand. It takes a lot of time, commitment. You got to be focused. You got to have a direction. It's just a lot. And so I was like, yo, this is getting a little bit more overwhelming. And so when I found Kevin Samuels, I was like, great, I could just, and mine wasn't video content.
Oh,
it
was
all
all
audio.
audio.
Yeah, I was using an app called Anchor.
Oh, yeah. That's how we got started.
Yeah. Anchor is a dope app. And if anybody trying to get into that space, I would tell them start with that Anchor app. You know, I was able to interview people even from different states, you know, the teleconferencing with the app. And so it was fun. I enjoyed doing it, but it was just becoming a job. Right. And I was like, dang. So anyway, so as I started consuming more of Kevin Samuels' content, it wasn't that he was teaching me anything because I've said everything that he says. It's so funny. I tell people nothing's really new under the sun. Right. So when you hear me say something, it's not like I made these words.
Right.
I didn't create these words. Some of the phrases I may have uniquely put certain things together that you may not ever heard anyone else say. Maybe I haven't heard anyone say consciously or being aware of it. Maybe subconsciously I heard them and maybe I wasn't aware that I heard it from somewhere else. So I don't try to take credit for the things I say. Right. I'm like, listen, I'm only 41. Yeah. I'm not 4,001. Yeah. You know what I mean? So my content is it really my content? Right. I mean, it's content. Yeah. That's the way I look at it. And the objective is to help Black women win. Objective not for me to get credit for that accomplishment if we are able to succeed in that arena. So when I heard the average and best video, I was like, you know what? Instead of people coming to me or trying to get people to come to me, I'm just going to push them to him. I'd rather somebody who's a little bit more polished than me, a little older than me. You know, he's suited and booted all the time. He got a production and everything. I'm like, I'll just send them to that. I don't care. I want to see them win. I don't need the credit for it. Right. And people were getting mad at me like, yo, what's up? I'm like, yeah, but I'm like, check him out. It's like, yeah, but he got a different voice from you. You this, you that. They're like, you should do it too. And I'm like, yeah, you gonna put some money towards this? Right. You gonna help out with the production? Yeah. Because otherwise, you know, you want to consume the hard work that I have to put in to give you this consumption. Right. I'm not getting anything out of this. Right. Because I don't see the effects. So I stopped it and then I started working went back to doing what I do, you know, with my businesses and everything. And then I kept getting a lot of requests like, yo, you should do it again. You should do it again. And I was like, all right, I'm going to launch season 2. Well, season 2 has yet to launch. But in the meantime, I started working on a show, right? I got a TV show that I started working on. My brother's owns his own production company. And at the time, I had my own production company when I was working on this. But since then, me and my 2 business partners went our separate ways. And so I said, fine, I'll let my brother's production company put together my brother got some movies out on what's the streaming platforms? Amazon and
Prime. Oh yeah, Prime obviously, Netflix, on
Tubi, yeah.
Okay.
He got a couple of movies out. My brother's probably successfully done about 4 movies now, maybe 5.
That's what's up.
But my brother's another story though. Anyways, and I got 4 brothers and 3 sisters. I got a lot of siblings, and so when the show is called Will versus Matrimony. So it's an interesting concept. I've never seen anything done like this before. I need the right team to pull it off, and I currently don't have the right team. My lady, she has a heavy experience in the film and production industry. She worked for all the major production companies here in Georgia. She worked for BET in New York, so she has the background for it. So I have the person in my corner if I want to pull the show off. But it was a lot of controversy at first because it's called Will versus Matrimony, right? And a lot of people think I'm anti-marriage, which I'm not.
I mean, they still think that, but we'll get to that.
I'm anti-United States of America being in my business. You know, and again, it's if you listen to me, you're gonna have to turn your heart off. You're gonna have to be heartless and cold and just listen. Words are words. We attach the feelings to the words. Words don't have feelings. We attach how we feel to the words. So if you feel a particular way about a word or a phrase, and then I say the word or phrase and it doesn't resonate with you, you're going to turn your brain off and you're going to miss what I'm trying to say. You may not understand it. You may not get it. And that's cool. You don't have to. I have this philosophy where I think anytime you're dealing with conflict, and y'all cut me off anytime y'all want.
No, you're good, bro. Go ahead.
Show, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I have this philosophy when anytime you're dealing with conflict, you have to use this format. I don't care. I have yet to see anything that works better than what I'm about to say to y'all right now. I believe there's 3 words. Normally I would quiz people, but for the sake of time, I'm just gonna tell y'all, right? So
just pretend I said yes.
So
Jones, what up?
The 3 words are accept, understand, and then agree or disagree, right? Agree or disagree is the same word. It just depends on if you agree, you just say accept, understand, agree. If you disagree, accept, understand, disagree, right? So I don't care what my philosophy is, you should accept it. Acceptance does not mean you agree with my perspective. But the problem we have, so many people like, well, I don't understand. Well, you don't have to understand. Stop trying to understand something you have yet to accept. How did I come to this conclusion? When I moved to Atlanta, I was homophobic as hell. I got to this city and I was like, oh, yeah, sugar honey iced tea.
Yeah.
And then the first dude I met in Atlanta was gay. I was working at a leasing office. Well, I was trying to find an apartment for me and my ex-wife at the time. I was married. And I toured this apartment and the dude was so cool, you know, and he was like, so when you gonna move in? I was like, I ain't got a job. I literally had just moved. I didn't even plan to move to Atlanta. We just came to visit and I decided to stay.
Sounds familiar.
But when I was here, so I started looking for an apartment, right? And I found this place and the dude toured us and everything. And then I was like, yo, bro, if you help me get a job, then I can move in. But, you know, I'm unemployed. So he was like, he'll see what he could do because he thought I was kind of cool and everything. So he helped me out. I got the job and me and him became super cool. I mean, when I say super cool, love the dude, like my brother. And we talking and everything. He told me, he said, man, I got to tell you something. I'm gay. And I was like, I kind of figured that.
Okay.
And he was like, well, I just wanted to let you know. So I don't know how you feel about that. I said, look, prior to meeting you, bro, I was homophobic. But I can honestly tell you, bro, like you one of the coolest dudes I've ever met in my life. And our relationship lasted for about 2 years before he passed away. And so he actually broke that homophobic philosophy that was indoctrinated into me, right? And I don't even know how I got it, but just like so many straight people become homophobic, don't even know where it comes from. So anyways, I love this dude like a brother, genuinely like a brother. And so he had talking to him, he just made me realize I didn't have to understand why he chose to love or be with who he chose to be with. I just had to accept that that's the lifestyle that he chose to live.
Right.
Or he felt that was his normal lifestyle, right? I don't know if it was his choice or not. But when I realized that, it's like, yo, I don't have to understand. I have to accept people for who they are.
Yeah.
I have to accept what you choose to do. So then I said, once I accepted that, and then me and him started having our talks, I realized my heart has softened and my ears had opened. And so when we talk, I can hear him clearly. And it's like, oh, see, I couldn't accept the homosexual lifestyle, so I couldn't understand it. I still don't understand it.
Right.
But I understand that two people can love each other.
Gotcha.
I don't know how two men can love each other, but hey, it ain't for me to understand.
Right.
It's for me to accept.
Yeah.
And then
Can't do nothing about it anyway.
Right. So then once you understand something, then I think you can determine whether or not you agree with it or disagree with it. And most people are trying to understand me without accepting my philosophy, my perspective, and my thoughts.
Yeah, and I think that's part of where the issue begins, because a lot of people, like I said, I've started watching several of your lives, been on a few of them. We had conversations. Is a lot of people, like you said, they'll get caught up in their emotions, right, and in their feelings, but they're human beings, so that's gonna happen. How do we keep? Actually, you don't even care about that part. Let me not even do that, because that sounds like the question for me.
Oh no, feel free to ask whatever. Bro.
The question I was going to ask is, how do we keep people open to even hear your message if they're already getting turned off so quickly by the way you're delivering it?
So that's a great question, bro. I'm glad you asked it. It's a great question, and it's hard to answer, because you have to understand. I've tried to soften my message. I've tried to change my delivery. I did work on my tone. It does no good. You got to think like this. Okay, so I'm a big stickler for words. Words mean things, and I try to hold people accountable to the words, right? And they can hold me accountable. And I don't like being held accountable, just like no one else like being held accountable. I don't put nobody. For the record, people, I do not like being held accountable. I don't. I will. You can hold me accountable, but I'm just like everybody else. We ain't none of us special. We're all average, right? So when you try to change your message, you realize the people who don't want to hear your message, they don't want to hear your message.
Right.
What can Donald Trump say that will get the black people to just listen to him without thinking he's a racist?
Nothing.
You sure? Because there's a lot of us listening. There's a lot of black people listening.
We only listen if we had if we were not conditioned. We only listen if we had an open mind to begin with. We listen if the people we were listening to are now pissing us off. You're like, well, what are they saying over there? These Democrats ain't doing what I thought they should do. So now I guess I'll listen to a Republican.
That's a little different. That's definitely a little different. Because I will say I like listening to Trump for the jokes. Because you know he's going to mess up sooner or later, say something that's going to be jacked up, and then he's giving me material to use. So I already know what Trump is about. I've known what Trump is about, and I don't want to say like I've known him for years, but it's always been pretty evident to me. So to get back to your point about what can he say to get black people to listen, I think like he's been doing it. I don't want to go political on this because I'm diverting. I know when he talks to us, he knows how to get our attention.
Well, he knows how to get yes, but there's a group that he's not going to get their attention no matter what.
It's definitely a certain part of us that's not. Yeah.
So I tell people like this. You're a DJ, right?
Yep.
Are you the only DJ in America?
No.
So if people don't like the tracks you spin, they can go listen to another DJ, right?
Yes.
But if they keep coming back to listen to your set and all they do is complain about your set, you're thinking, why are you here? Do I go? That's like me walking into a church and listening to the pastor, like, he wrong. Trash. Look, I'm heckling him in the back. He wrong. He wrong. Like, why are you here, sir? I'm a Muslim. You're a Muslim? So why are you in the Pentecostal church right now?
Yeah.
Are you here to hear a different perspective, or are you here to just critique everything and say it's wrong?
Yeah,
that's all.
So is it fair for when people come to critique you? Do you look forward to that?
I don't care.
Okay.
Because
your overall message. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm ready for it all. So I always say this on Instagram. I'm waiting for someone to put me in my place. I'm waiting for someone to make me eat crow, so to speak. But I'm like, it's happening. I'm undefeated in these debates because my position that I take cannot be debated. It just can't. If you turn your heart off, if you feel you're going to debate me all day long, and guess what? You're always right. Anytime you talk about how you feel, you are always right. I won't even debate you if you're talking about how you feel. Yeah. How could I win that? Are you cold right now? Will, you cold?
Fucking amazing right now.
No, but I'm sorry. Oh no,
no, the temperature's awesome.
So what if DJ Knox said, "Oh, it's cold in here"?
You Allen.
But if he's cold, he might be coming down with a cold, anything, right? It feels different in this room to him than it feels to you. Who's right and who's wrong?
I got you.
What are they backing it up with? Where's the evidence? How does it really affect people? But it's just, first of all, you're not defeated. Because I think at least 0-2. You like Brady, I'm New York Giants. You're like 0-2 against me. The 2 times we've had, I think even your followers were like,
say,
you know,
I was the New York Giants. Or you said
no,
Brady?
You're Brady and the Patriots.
I'm the Patriots.
Yeah. To everybody else, you may be the GOAT.
Okay,
but we done beat you twice in the Super Bowl. So
when you go shopping, there's this thing called receipts.
Oh, we got the receipts, bro.
Produce them.
Oh, come on.
Produce them.
Come on. I know you say the live, so we can go back and do it.
Produce them.
Listen.
Yeah, about to say, let me know what the topic was, so I can get a understanding.
And understand. Okay, the first time, let me go a little background. First time, I saw you go live. It was with some mutual friends, right? And I'm hearing how you're talking about different topics. This is months ago. And the way you're directing I want to be fair, not say venom or anything like that. You had a lot of energy for how women behaved and how they carried themselves in these streets, as far as when they claimed they wanted to find a man and things of that sort. And what I was saying in the conversation was, you're not going to make any progress. You're not going to make any real change talking to people like that, because they're going to put up that defensive wall and they're not going to hear shit that you're saying. So that's where our first conversation started. So when you brought me on live, I was debating that part. It wasn't so much what you were saying, it was your delivery. So it's like you could win a couple bouts of the championship fight, but you're not going to win the whole fight because of the way you're throwing your blows. Because you be throwing some haymakers, and you know you do. So that's what part that I know I won overall, because like, you know what? If you really care, if you really want to change some minds and get some people married out here, this may be a better way to get them there versus what you were doing. The cuts and elbows to the back of the head, and you even bit a couple ears. But anyway,
well, let me tell you why you still win.
Oh, let me hear this.
Okay, so I like how you so elegantly state that, and as if that was a victory. See, now here's what you got to understand.
Go ahead.
You already said I was the New England Patriots, right?
Yep.
What's their coach's name?
Belichick.
Okay. You think Belichick is talking to people the way they want to be talked to?
No.
Or is Belichick telling you, I know how to win Super Bowls?
Facts.
There's Bobby Knight. There's Coach K. There's Phil Jackson. There's so many coaches that do what they do. And this is a nice segue too. So I'm gonna finish this and I'm gonna segue to
Go ahead, do you think?
There's so many coaches that do what they do, have amazing results, and people hate them.
Facts.
But when they win, they love them.
Yeah.
There's teachers that you hate, but when you pass that class or you graduate, you always give thanks to the people you've hated, the ones that pushed you, the ones that made you uncomfortable, the ones that forced you to grow. But see, when people do it the way you want to do, again, picking and choosing, right?
Correct.
I told you, people want the world to conform to them. They don't want to conform to the world. I'm sorry. You live on planet Earth. You don't like it here? Go to Mars. Good luck.
Right.
You ain't going to leave. You can't leave. You can't breathe outside of this atmosphere. So the segue is, well, you know what? I'll say that for later because I want to tie it in better. But the way people coach, no, I'll do it now. So I was telling someone this just yesterday, literally yesterday. Coaching is so unique. It's so weird because everybody wants to ask me, what's your credentials? What makes you qualified? And that's when I bite their head off, because now you're talking stupid, and I don't do stupidity well. And I will tell you stupid, and you're going to feel some kind of way because, again, you're not thinking, you're just feeling.
Now we talking. I'm sorry. Go
Don't-
ahead.
Feel your way through a conversation with me. Think your way through the conversation with me. Coaching doesn't have credentials. There's no coaching school that you go to. Where do you go to learn to be a coach?
They have those schools though.
Where's the coaching school?
Somebody Google that. I know they have schools. They do. Yeah, management.
They lately they've come out with things to teach you how to be in a particular field, but they don't teach you how to be a coach. They may teach you about a particular industry, a particular topic, but no one says, "Hey, coaching school, coaching what? Engineering school." There's a lot of different subsectors of engineering, but you go to engineering school. You go to school to be an engineer, and then you pick a practice, you pick a specialty or whatnot. There's medical school, but you pick a practice. I mean, you pick a specialty in the medical field.
Right.
There's no coaching school like, oh, just coaching. We have everybody here, just 14,000 students here. They're all coaches in the making. No, that's not a thing. There's this thing that's now being done in recent times where people workshops and different things like this to try to make some money. Again, you got another coach who has no real credentials, because how do you tell a coach they're coaching? How do you grade a coach?
By train. Okay. I don't want to cut you off, but when it comes to coaching, you learn to coach by going through a series of training, right? Which is what you gave an example of with workshops, but they have actual schools and actual programs and actual curriculum.
That is sales.
But it's still an actual coaching school, right?
Because here's the thing about coaching, and this is what makes everybody so unique. You have your own style. You have your own philosophy. It's like songwriting, right? There's a format to how to write songs, but how do you tell someone they didn't write a song? It's because you don't like it. They didn't write it because it didn't sell. They didn't write a song. No, you can write your own music. You don't even have to use instruments. You can just beat on the table. Yeah. You can make whatever. You don't even have to have a beat to be a cappella. Yeah. At the end of the day, you can't tell someone they don't know how to. You can't tell someone they don't know what they're talking about per se when it comes to coaching. You could only say your style doesn't work for me, and that's cool. Everybody can't be coached by everybody. There's not one coach on earth that can coach everybody.
Facts. I agree with that.
So if you don't like my style, leave me be.
I was just trying to say, I still won that first one. I think we can confirm that right now that I won that first one. That's what I'm saying.
Delusion exists amongst us all from one time or another.
All right, so because a quick question, I heard you mention marriage, and I don't know the whole background on whether or not you're pro or for it, but I heard somebody say this shit and it stood out to me today. Because we were having a technology question and somehow marriage came in and he was like, man, marriage is old tech. and he said it and I just bust out laughing and I was like, nah, that was it. Put that on the t-shirt.
Well, see, for the listening audience, those who know me, that those who don't, which, you might have one or two people listening, you might know.
There's a few of them.
Look, I ain't no damn body. So look, I'm pro marriage. I'm not against marriage at all, contrary to what people believe. I think marriage is an amazing union amongst a man and 1 to 4 women.
Oh, so you believe in polygamy?
No, I believe in marriage. You can call it whatever you want to call it. If it's called polygamy, then so be it. I think if a man can take care of a woman, he should do that. I think if a man can take care of 2 women and both of those women are okay with him having each one of them, they should do that.
Right.
I'm not going to tell a man he should have more than one woman, because if you can't take care of them all, you don't need them. You probably don't even need the one you got. I mean, probably shouldn't have the one you got.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I don't believe a woman can have more than one man. And then I start sounding sexist. And I say, fine. I say outlandish things like, my woman can sleep with any other man on planet Earth outside of me if she chooses to. That's her right. It's just, if I find out, I'm no longer providing for her. That's someone else's job now. If I think whatever woman, if you sleep with a man as a woman, you should be smart enough to sleep with a man who, 1, can provide for you, and 2, will provide for you, and 3, wants to provide for you.
Right.
If those 3 things don't apply and you sleeping with them, maybe you just want to have sex, but I mean, there's consequences to it. You'll face him either now or you'll face him later, but you're gonna face him.
You're gonna face him.
You're gonna face him.
Yeah.
So I mean, it is what it is. But pro marriage, bro. I don't have a problem with marriage. I'm just not. The United States of America can't be in my business. We'll never have another marriage certificate but I will marry a woman, my woman, if she wants to get married. If she does want to be married. It's not like she doesn't want to be married. It's not like we won't be married. More than likely, we'll get married, but we will not subscribe to the United States Constitution or whatever word they want to put in there. I've been down that road. It's no, the idea of being married just makes your life better. No, you're just legally tied to the person you're dating.
Yeah. So let me hold on, get my sound effect.
And for you religious folk, see, again, didn't the religious ones get on me, right? But the Bible says,
They coming.
Shut your... Listen, as much as people don't follow what's in the Bible, again, picking and choosing.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm not mad at them. I'm not mad at them for wanting to hold me accountable to what's in the Bible, right, as far as marriage. But I'm like, y'all haven't really done y'all homework. Y'all pastors have been talking and y'all been listening, but y'all ain't been reading the Bible.
Yeah, because the Bible says so many different things. But go ahead.
Yes,
I'm gonna let you.
I'm not gonna go into it because we'll be talking forever.
Yeah, there's a little contradictions that happen with that part of it. I think because, and you know this, and we all know this here, when we're talking to about certain topics with certain people, men and women, they've all been conditioned. We've all been a part of that conditioning.
Yep.
And I think that's where a big issue that people have with you, especially women, because you are telling them to ignore what you've been told and brought up on, American Dream, family, 2.5 kids, picket fence and all of that. You know what I'm saying? And even more recently, stand on your independence while you get a man, which really doesn't make sense. But once again, I start like I'm agreeing with you, and they're like, well, damn.
And you think you beat me? And I'm
just saying, once again, the first one for sure. That second one was kind of close. The second one was close.
The second one
was close.
So enlighten us. What exactly was what was the second one?
I don't even remember. See, listen, that's how insignificant these conversations be to me. And then when people get mad, I'm like, listen, I do this. Most people get shocked. My homeboy's like, man, you love shock value. I'm like, I don't like shock value. Shock value is cool sometimes. But, bro, it's not my fault that you're shocked by what I'm saying. You got to understand, this is the norm for me. This is abnormal to you. See, what was unorthodox is now orthodox. What was orthodox is now unorthodox.
Yeah.
See, it was normal. Like, I have a dating philosophy. Bro, I mean, it's crazy because I want to answer. There's so many different things I can say. We have such a short time. And I try to give people some nuggets. And then
the dating one's a good one. I think I know what you're going to talk about.
So I have a dating philosophy, right? And so I'm in a relationship now, so I don't use my dating philosophy anymore because I'm not dating. But I teach men. When I say men, I'm teaching what's a lover, leader, provider, and protector, right? But I don't meet a lot of them, so I don't teach them often. Most times I'm talking to males and boys. Yeah. But I'll teach men just to say the word man, so most people get distracted when I say man versus male. People with penises.
Yeah. That's the safest
I teach
way.
people with penises how to move. And I say, listen, bro, when you date, you need to incorporate some rules on how you date. And the first is I have 3 rules on how I date. And I'm gonna go ahead and say 4 because my first rule is women cannot have standards, rules, or expectations when they date me. If you want to date me, whatever rules, whatever standards, whatever expectations you have, you need to forget about it.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, you heard what I said. Now, first of all, you like what you see, obviously, right? I don't have to be handsome, but to her, I'm handsome, right? You're handsome to someone and you're handsome to someone, right? So to her, she's interested. So it's like, listen, you're going to have an amazing experience dating me. And if this doesn't work out, you're going to probably win with the next man because of what you're going to learn by being with me. So I say, look, you can't have any rules. That would be rule number 0. I like to be difficult.
Yeah.
So my 3 rules is really 2, but it's the 3 rules because I do part 1A and part 1B and then part 2, rule 2. So the first rule 1A is a woman must be safe in my presence at all times. At all times. Sure. There's no chance. There's never a time a woman's safety can be jeopardized if she's in my presence, because then I'm not being a man. Rule 1B, a woman must feel comfortable at all times. See, comfort and safety is two totally different things. And most women don't understand the difference between the two because women think that if they're comfortable, they feel safe. But you're not necessarily safe because you're comfortable.
Right.
Women think because they're uncomfortable that it's dangerous.
Yeah.
But you're not necessarily in danger because you're uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So I have to make sure that I create both of those atmospheres simultaneously because you cannot be in my presence and be uncomfortable. I only date in 3 places. I date at my house, her house, or the park. People are like, what? First dates? Yes. Plenty of women have been to my house on the first date. I've been to plenty of women's houses for the first date. Yeah. I do not recommend this for people. Yeah. Most people don't know what they're doing.
You gotta be careful.
I'm not telling. I'm not telling you, ladies, let some random dude come to your house. Yeah. I'm not saying, gentlemen, force your way to a woman's house or go bring her to your house. I'm not saying this. Most dudes ain't men. Yeah. I'm a man. Yeah. I understand a woman's safety is the number 1 priority. I understand a woman being comfortable is the second most important priority. Yeah. And then the third rule, which is really the second rule, right? 1A, 1B, and rule 2. A woman must smile or laugh at least 70% of the time that she's in my presence. And if she don't, I end the date. So I tell women this all the time. You can't have rules, standards, or expectations, but I can. But my rules, standards, and expectations are for your benefit. See, if I let a woman introduce some rules, standards, or expectations, it's going to be to her benefit and to my detriment. Right. I'm not going to let you engineer a dynamic and atmosphere to my detriment. Yeah. You're not going to do that. But when I create a utopia, it's for your benefit. Yeah. So how you mad at me for creating a world that you benefit from?
Thoughts, Will?
No thoughts. They can't be challenged. It can't be refuted. It can't be debated. It's how could a woman challenge what I just said?
I don't know.
Your safety is my number 1 priority. You being comfortable is my second most important thing. And then you having a good time by laughing and smiling. Yeah. How could you debate that? How could you challenge that? How can you be mad at that? You know why? Women have been conditioned to go on dates where men spend money. Yep. And when a man spends money, guess what? He don't have to make you laugh. So you don't know if he got a good personality. Nope. When he spend money, you don't know in a safe environment. He just spends a lot of money to put you in what's perceived as a safe environment. Yep. If you're at a high-end restaurant, you don't perceive that to be a dangerous place. But can a man make you feel safe when it's just you and him walking in the park at night? You know how many women I've taken out for a first date at a park at night, just her and I? She don't know me from Adam, from a can of paint, and she felt safe and comfortable. I may have a skill set that I'm not even aware of. I may not even be able to teach what I know how to do. But just because I don't know how to teach it or may not be aware of it, that doesn't, may not fully understand how to articulate it to tell people how I'm able to do what I've been able to do. I've been able to do it. And if I was messy and if I didn't care about my lady, I'll mention all the women that I've had these experiences with, and these women will be able to attest. Because think about it, I'm on a public platform. Right. I've said publicly many of times before me and my lady got together, I was literally dating 30 to 40 women at a time.
That's what I was like, yo, how the hell? Okay, just for fun. How do you quantify 30 to 40 at the same time? Because I know me, and I've been single for a while.
I was being modest when I said 30 to 40. I didn't want to sound like an asshole. At times it was 50 and 60.
Yeah, bro. I don't know.
People like, how are you able? Well, I own a company that generates money on its own. I don't have to work. Yeah. So I got 24 hours a day. Most people have you got 8 hours to work, right?
Eight hours of sleep.
Well, most people working 9 to 10 hours a day, right? You add your lunch in there. If you're working 8 hours, you're gonna have an hour lunch. Most people got at least a 30-minute commute to get to work. Right. So if you're working 8 hours with an hour lunch, 30 minutes each way, that's 10 hours. The average woman is spending an hour to 2 hours getting ready for work. Right. And then coming home trying to wind down from work. So the average person is spending like 13, 14 hours either at work or surrounded around work, going to get your kids from daycare, dropping them off, whatever. That wasn't my world. I use online dating apps, and bro, you know how many women you can interact with? I can create a profile right now and match with, before the podcast is over, and match with 50 women.
Yeah, see, I've never used it
in Atlanta.
I've never used a dating app. I've never had to because we live in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? And because I'm out a lot. So I meet women all the time. So that was never a thing for me. You see what I'm saying?
And I don't do that. I don't go out. and I did at home or her house at the park, right? So think about it. I'm not gonna meet you out because if I meet you out, you're gonna want to be out.
Right.
If I meet you at home, guess where you're gonna be?
At the house.
I've already set the stage on how our relationship is gonna be. Can we do nice things? Yeah, but that's not gonna be our norm.
Yeah. Toya, what you thinking over there?
She like, he full of shit.
No, I'm actually really tired. I just came from work. But
see, that wasn't my life.
Yeah. Well, I have this business and then I have a regular job. So yeah, it's about something like that.
Something like that.
See, now think about it.
I want to ask you a question though. So you said as long as you give her, does assurance come in that comfortability and security? Assurance
for who? My lady?
Yeah.
Or just girls I'm dating? I don't know which.
For just you just said you say they can have rules, but your thing is you want to make sure that they're
safe, comfortable, and having
but
fun.
Where does insurance come in?
What insurance do they need if they're safe, comfortable, and enjoying themselves? What insurance is what they need?
Because I feel like you could be comfortable, you could feel safe and comfortable around somebody, but that person, how can I say it? I can feel safe and comfortable with you, but you may not like me.
There's plenty of women I've been with like that and I didn't like.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. But so I believe sometimes some women, they want that, but they want the assurance that you're into them too.
Right. And
you see what I'm saying? Because some people look past, okay, yeah, I could feel comfortable, but does he really fuck with me? Does he see me? You know what I'm saying? Because that is a level of, I would say, security and comfort. Like, that's something that I feel is an underlying thing that men don't know that women need.
Well, they will never feel that way with me because when women are smiling and laughing, they don't think about that. See, when you're enjoying yourself, if a man is making you laugh and making you smile, you think he likes you.
Not necessarily.
Well, majority of the women do. So I don't operate in the minority of women or people. I operate in the majority, right? So if I try to be, I don't want to be a specialist at something small. I want to be really good at something broad that's going to help a lot of people. If I wanted to just, unfortunately, my skill set is for a minute, it's for a small segment of the population because majority of the people are conditioned to think a certain way. If they were to break their traditional way of thinking, like Knox said, then they can hear what I'm saying. And then my message can be a broad message for many to soak up. But when I've dated, okay, so let's just use 50 because it's an even round number. And it's a reality, it's true, it's nothing I'm exaggerating, but I know it's hard for the average person to understand that. I had a lot of very short micro interactions with women. It wasn't a lot of in-depth time spent with them. You can't spend time with 50 women.
Right.
But it was good enough for them to stay around. Right. How could a woman with these micro interactions?
So I guess I'm talking about more than a micro when I come with
but I give them more, right? I've had relationships with women and I've had pursued and cut off all other women for just one here and there from time to time. But when I was entertaining the majority of the women I was entertaining, it was enough for them to say, wow, he is attentive. He calls, he listens, he understands, he makes me think. That was the thing that most women loved about being around me. They felt intrigued by me to the fact they wanted to hear more. And a lot of times they would just sit there like I'm reading them a bedtime story.
Your voice is on I'm an audio engineer. Your voice is on an octave of calmness.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So when you talk, it vibrates somebody's chest, right? And so women, men, they see. Women, they hear. You see what I'm saying? So I know, like, you could probably talk to your daughter when she was younger and she would calm down. You see what I'm saying? So different frequencies can change a person, right? So with you have that's why you when you said, well, I don't know if I like, have a certain thing or whatever, you do, and it's the octave of your voice. It's a calm, soothing type of thing. And that's what women are attracted to, because we hear this. You can see that's the reason this sweet nothing's in my ear, because we get turned on to this. Right? You see what I'm saying? You could talk a woman's panties off. Do you see what I'm saying? With the frequency of your voice. You know what I'm saying? You're not an ugly man. Do you see what I'm saying? So you have that, and then you have the frequency of your voice working for you, where most men don't even have that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So the point that I'm making is, yeah, you're able to do that because you have a kryptonite. You see what I'm saying? So women can feel comfortable, like, oh my, you know what I'm saying? He makes me feel warm, because a lower tone voice makes women feel warm. Do you see what I'm saying? So a lot of times, due to those feelings, that gives us that feeling of assurance, right? Those people who look past the feelings, right? Because women, we think so much. If you didn't answer the phone, I'm thinking you with somebody. I came up with this whole story about what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
Right. So that's the reason why I asked about assurance, right? Because when a woman has assurance, her brain don't go all over the place. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's why I asked, where does assurance fit in that comfortability?
So, I can tell you where it's...
Or does it come in security?
Well...
Or do you only give that assurance to the people that you go long term with?
No, so I give it to the women who deserve it. So here's how you deserve it. Well, one, it is a combination. So it is women I choose, right? If I have an interest in being with her beyond just a casual level, or and if she earns it, and this is what I mean by that. I'm a human, just like everyone else is, right? And so women want assurances, men need assurances too, if we want to look at it in that way regard. Right. So I tell women like this, I'll ask them point blank, period. I don't shy away. I'll say, hey, I am the table. I'm the complete table. You don't have to bring anything here. You don't have to bring anything here. If you do choose to bring something here, you can bring a placemat, you bring a knife, fork, spoon, things like that. She could bring chairs. She could bring whatever she wants. But I'm saying,
you're not in your real purpose until you have people come to the table.
Well, what I'm saying is, I'm a complete table. Because a table is a table. Chairs are not a table. No, but right? A chair completes a table's purpose. Right, but I'm not saying a chair don't add value, right? Women add value to my life. I'm just saying I am a table. I'm not a placemat. I'm not silverware. I'm not chairs. I am a table. You can bring what you bring. Now, if you choose to bring something to this table on your own accord, see, if I got to request something, you don't want to be at this table. See, I'm here.
You've been requested. Brandon said, "Come to the table."
See, I'm here, right?
Come on, it's literally 3 feet. You see, what we got to deal with.
So the assurances that I give a woman is the woman who wants to be there and makes herself noticeable, right? So my lady that I have right now, one of the things that stood out about her that other women just couldn't even. We would have these tough conversations. Right, like I have with people all the time, and sometimes she'll disagree with what I'm saying, but before she responds, she'll stop and she'll think, and she'll sit there. We'll be sitting there in awkward silence. She'll like, "Give me a minute." She'll do this, and she'll think about what I'm saying, and sometimes she'll then change and agree with me, or sometimes she'll say, "You know what? I just think I need to think about this a little bit longer," and I appreciated that because it's like you're pausing, you're thinking. You don't have to agree. Remember, just accept what I'm saying, and then when you go ponder it. Maybe you'll understand it, or maybe you'll soften your heart enough to you say, you kind of got a point. I want to hear this a little bit more, so maybe I can get on the same page as you. That and the other thing, I caught COVID when we were just dating it, and I was dating other women at the time. She took care of me while I was. That's value, man. And then she caught COVID.
That stood out from you.
Now, mind you, she in the film industry. She was working at Tyler Perry Studios at the time. She caught COVID fooling with me. And she was the coordinator over all the COVID testing for the whole studio.
And ended up getting COVID.
And it's like, you know how important it is. People couldn't film if they didn't go through proper protocols. Right. And she is a vital piece of making sure all that worked.
Right.
At the time, that was just something she was doing at the time. That's not what she's a coordinator in a lot of whatever.
But no, I just want to say, like, that stood out for you. Because I think
a lot of things that stood out. I mean, she cooked. She would cook for me. It's just she was making herself. I don't think she was trying to win me over. I think she was just being who she is.
Right.
And again, I'm not trying to win a woman over when I'm just being the table.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just being what I am.
Yeah.
Right.
And me being what I am, if you're in my vicinity, it's going to create value. You have to add value to my life. And I tell women like this, when you date, you have to add value to a person's life. A man has to add value to a person's life. But people are constantly looking to see what other people can do for them instead of realizing it is your job to make sure you can do for others. And if people don't reciprocate, get them out your life.
That's it.
Right.
But you can't be, everybody want to network. Everybody want to network, and they only want to network for one reason. They want to see what you can do
get
for
out
them.
of it. That's it.
Right.
That's it.
Well, those type of people have the, they read, Robert Greene's books. That's why.
Yeah, for their laws of power.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean,
that's the reason why.
I think the people that read those books are, well, I ain't gonna go on. That's a whole nother conversation.
About to crush them.
Listen, I did want to cover like two more things before we go, because you both of y'all kind of touched on it. But like you said, there's a lot of males, there's a lot of boys. All they got is a penis. What we talk about a lot in the show is manhood and about culture, right? So one of the questions that we talked about, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Okay, 2 weeks ago. We were talking about different ways that black men can help younger black men understand that now this is what makes you a man. Is there some kind of initiation, rites of passage that we can start going forward with for our people?
A black mitzvah, if you would.
Yes, a black mitzvah, if you would.
And then I also have a question for you.
Okay, I'm big on words, so I will remove black mitzvah.
It was just
I know it's a joke, it's just a play on words, right? But I would remove that. I would also stop saying that men need to teach men, because I'm a man. A man don't need to teach me. A man can help enlighten me, but I'm a man already. Once you become a man, you don't need anyone else teaching you. Your coddling days are over. Your rites of passage you've already gone through your rites of passage. So as a man, we need to teach boys and males, because we're not born baby men. We're born baby boys, right? And we grow up and we become a teenager. And somehow if we just stay in a room, like let's just say we were all born today, the three of us, and we stayed in this room and she was our mother and she coddled us and took care of us, and we hit 18. And she's like, you know what? Y'all men now.
Right.
No, we ain't.
Right.
Yeah.
We gonna step out this room and get slaughtered. Right. We think the rites of passage is getting through the first 18 years of life, and that makes you a man. No, it don't. Just makes you an adult.
Yeah.
We got a lot of adult males. There are some adolescent men out here.
I have to say something.
Go ahead.
So this is how I look at it. I look at there's grown boys and there's grown men. What do you think about that?
I don't like putting any word before man. Once you're a man, you're a man. It's not a good man. It's not a
so you would say that
man.
so basically would you accept a grown boy and a man?
I will say an adult boy. I don't grown, right? Grown is just dumb. It's just saying, hey, you reached the age of majority, right? Yeah. I just call them adults, and people like to use words and conflate them and try to say, I'm grown. Yeah. What does that mean? No, you're an adult. Right, that means you can be legally held accountable. Right. If you look at it that way, they'll be like, "Ooh, I ain't grown."
No, try me as a minor.
Right, exactly.
She go bad. Right. Try me as a minor.
They don't say we don't try them as a grown up. Right. They try them as an adult.
Yeah.
Right.
So we use the same terminology, then we get people to start thinking the right way, and we get people to start behaving the right way. So I say, to be a man, you have to go through this rites of passage. You have to become a provider. I don't care how much money you make. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to make high six figures or none of that. The moment you can take care of yourself, right, on your own, you are now a provider. Now, if you want to have a woman in your life, you got to be able to take care of yourself and her needs, not her wants. Her needs, all of her needs. If you can't take care of all of her needs, you can still be a provider, but you can't be her man.
So he's my food, shelter, basic needs.
The basic needs, right? You have to, everything that is, you take a chart and put the wants on one category side and needs on the other side. Yeah. Every need that you place on there, he has to be able to meet that.
Right. And
she can help him meet that by reducing what she needs.
Right.
If she wants to make that relationship work. But if she's like, I need and he like, I can't do that, she ain't the woman for you.
Right.
He got to then be a protector. He got to be able to protect himself. If you can't protect yourself, you got a problem. Ain't nobody gonna look at you as a man, right?
Right.
You ain't no man. You can't protect yourself.
Yeah.
That don't mean you gotta win every fight. That don't mean you can't lose, but you still gotta protect yourself. You did that squabble, you lost, but he ain't gonna try you again.
Yeah.
I tell
Right?
people that
That's
shit all the
protection.
time.
They both walked away. We both walked away. So yeah.
I look right up at a motherfucker. I'm like, we about to go, man. I don't
Yeah.
care nothing about all that size, none of that shit. Let's go.
And if you got a woman in your life, you gotta protect her too.
Yeah.
Showtime.
That's right.
And then you gotta know how to love yourself, right? If you got a woman in your life, you gotta know how to love her too, and not love her the way you want to love her. Love her the way she needs you to love her. Her love is a need category. That's not a want category.
Facts.
And these dumbass, these
you
dumb
good.
women, right? They'll
I
say
cuss like a
things
sailor. You good?
I know they'll say things like, "Well, I don't like cussing publicly like this. I'll do it, but I don't like doing it." But women would say, "I don't need you. I want you." You don't need me. I'm out.
Yeah.
My job is to provide needs. You've just taken away my job.
Yeah.
How are we gonna work when I have no job to do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait. Last thing is,
Mm-hmm.
you got to be able to lead yourself. And if you want to be if you want a woman in your life, you got to be able to lead her. But you can't force your leadership upon her. She has to submit to your leadership and say, you know what? I authorize you to lead me.
Yeah.
So you can't force your way into people's world. That's why I don't change my tune.
Yeah.
The people that want to receive from me, they will. If they pay me, I'll change my tune up. All my paying clients, they don't hear me how I'm on the internet. I'm soft, I'm compassionate, I'm thoughtful, I'm considerate, I'm patient, because I want them to get the outcome. I don't just want to be the one talking.
Right.
So you did learn from me talking to you.
No,
That's
sir.
cool.
I already-
Okay, so my question, I wanted to ask you this,
No,
right?
sir.
So
Yes, sir.
you laid the foundations of, what a man is, right? But do you, and we talk about the rite of passage and stuff like that. But do you think that in order for a man to understand that, he needs to see a man do it?
Well, he's not a man. Once you're a man, you understand it.
No, but in order, okay.
When
Okay.
he's a boy, male, adult male, yes, he needs to see how men operate. That's
Right.
why men need to teach boys and males. But we don't teach men. Once you are a man, you understand these principles.
And this is what I need you to say on this.
Yeah.
This record. I believe that a man gives their children identity.
Okay.
And I feel like when a man is not present, their child can get lost in it. And so I feel like when he says about the rite of passage, I look at the rite of passage as, a father passing on this wisdom to his son. You see what I'm saying? Or that talk. Let's sit down, son, and have the talk. You see what I'm saying? Some people see that as the rites of passage. Rites of passage when I give you the talk about wrapping up and stuff like that, right? So I feel and I'm going to use my personal situation, right? My dad is not a man, but my mom put my brother in front of people that she considered that were men. And my brother was just like, okay, I now know the blueprint of what a man is supposed to do. So therefore, now I have this blueprint that a man needs to be able to provide. A man needs to be able to. He only saw some of that from my father. He didn't see all of it. But I feel like young men need to actually see all of that from somebody. And I feel sometimes that's why young boys, like my coach is my dad, or you know what I mean? They fall because the coach shows them something like that, right? Like the coach, responsibility. I'm not a football player, so I don't know. But you get what I'm saying? Because I talk in circles sometimes. So no, I mean, some women do. We go all the way around and come back. So, and so by me saying that is that when you say a man, when you become a man, but boys need to see what a man is, right? Like you say you have 3 girls, right? Do you feel like you're going to have some type of talk to him to get him to the mind state of where you at?
My daughter's boyfriends or husband?
No. When you have a son, well, I don't know if you still having children, but
Yeah, I don't know about having.
But I'm saying,
I'll answer that for you.
Yeah.
So hold on. So,
and would you, in that conversation, would you call that a rite of passage?
No. Well, before I answer that, for the folks checking us out, checking me out on checking us out right now on Instagram. My IG live about to expire. I got like 45 seconds. So I'm gonna end it. I'm gonna reboot it real quick, and then I'm gonna answer her question.
Okay, all right, cool. Yeah,
so,
we keep going because, like I said, we got the audio, so we can go back and run it back. Yeah, like I said, we got the YouTube that's gonna be up. So if they miss anything, we make sure to tag you and all of that good stuff. So,
well, I'm gonna reboot it and I'm gonna answer her question.
Yeah. Brandon, I don't even know Networking. I don't know if you can tag him or not because he has control of my page right now. But if y'all not following this brother, make sure you need to be at Picking and Choosing, PICKINGNCHOOOSING. Can you put it in there for me?
You're supposed to be home.
Yeah, like listen, because like I'm familiar with this part of the conversation, but one thing that I didn't catch before is how you broke down the different things that men need to fully provide, right? Of course, food, shelter, to be truly providing her needs, right? Leadership, but the love part.
Assurance.
Yes. But the way he put it as, so now it's easy to remember. It's even easy. It's lead, love, food and shelter.
Provide and protect.
Provide. Oh, damn it! Now we at 6.
No. So we're leaving food and shelter. Shelter and food is provide.
Yeah, provide.
Okay, it's only the same thing. Okay, cool. So tell us all again.
Love, lead, provide, and protect.
Simple. Double L, double P. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Because like I said, yeah, as much as I've listened to your lives and the discussions interactions with people,
the onslaught the slaughter of the innocents that are actually guilty,
not the sheep.
Oh, that's what we're doing.
Oh, no, they're wolves in sheep's clothing, but they're wolves without fangs because their bite is like baby shit.
Yeah,
just the bark.
Yeah, let me tell you how the crazy part.
Listen, I need him to answer my question now.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay. So see, people got to understand. We keep thinking we have to talk to kids. We don't have to talk to kids. We should talk to kids. We definitely should talk to kids, but we don't have to talk to kids. Kids don't learn by hearing. They learn by watching.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And because there's no men in their lives, how do you expect boys to grow to be men? I have only one person to blame for this. This is where I really get hated.
A black woman.
Only one person to blame, and that is black women. And there's so many different ways you could blame a black woman. First and foremost, you blame a black woman in her mating process. She's mating. Again, remember I told you, you should only open your legs to a man who has the means to take care of you, is willing to take care of you, and has an interest, a desire in taking care of you. If he doesn't want to be that man in your life, and you're opening your legs for him, yeah, you probably just want some sex. Cool. But there's consequences to that.
Right.
Now, if you get pregnant and you decide to keep the baby, and this man that ain't a man, he's a male,
right.
If he sticks around or if he doesn't stick around, that's detrimental to the kid.
Either way.
It don't matter.
Yeah.
The kid is either going to see an example of what not to be when they watch the male throughout their childhood, or they're going to have a void because there's no one there.
Right.
I met my dad when I was 23. Every male that my mama has ever had has been a male. My mama's never had a man in her life, ever. I don't know many women that have, and women constantly remind me, it ain't, how many of these kind of men do you think exist? Well, that ain't my problem how many exist. Y'all keep saying God know your heart. God, you know your worth.
Chill out.
You ain't gonna settle. You the one keep saying you know what you want. How y'all keep ending up with bum ass niggas? Yeah. How y'all keep ending up with them? So your mating process first needs to change. That's one of the reasons why I started the podcast. I said, I'm not a relationship coach, even though I've coached people in relationships. I am teaching women how to date better.
Yeah.
And people are like, I'm like, date. First of all, dating is dumb.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's how our society wants to do it now.
Yeah.
So you got to learn to date better.
Yeah.
If you date and you get yourself a man, second mistake women make, they get bored with that man because men have structure. Men are not just fun. See, women love excitement.
They love fun.
That's why the fuck boys get their attention.
Yep.
Because all they know how to provide is excitement. All they know how to do is that third rule: have fun, keep her laughing.
Yep.
It works. Why do you think I incorporated it in my philosophy?
Have to.
Keep women laughing. Keep them smiling. They'll be eating out of your hand.
Yeah.
I'm not a pimp But if I was heartless towards women, I would be cruel as hell. And
I can see it.
And these women tell me all the time, why are you coaching women? You need to coach men. And they call me narcissistic. They call me misogynistic.
Yep.
They call me arrogant. They call me this, that, and the third. I'm like, so you really want me to go produce more of me? How dumb is your philosophy? You want me to go coach boys to be what you hate, which is me. You hate me, and you want me to go coach them to be me.
Go make some more.
Yeah.
Think about that. But they tell me religiously and repeatedly, coach men, talk to the men, talk to the men.
You know why? You know why?
Well, only thing you should say to them, and I don't say it because I don't want to get, or Instagram already banned me and blocked me so many times, and I don't want to be disrespecting women like this.
But you on my page, so you're good.
No, I'm still not gonna say it, but I'm saying what I want to call them is bitch.
I didn't know you were gonna say that.
I was gonna go.
I was gonna say, because a lot of times I know this, women that I know personally and have been involved, they play the victim role. Somebody's always doing this to me. Somebody's blaming me. Somebody's taking advantage of me.
Start
so
agreeing
there's
with
if I wanted to.
No, just do it.
But I can't though.
But you got to. Let me tell you why. Because see, if you fight them, you justify their behavior. If you agree with them, it's like, damn, you stupid in how you pick men.
But again, what is my goals? What am I looking for in that situation?
You want them to be better, right?
I do.
Then hold them accountable, and just say this: say, that sucks. Maybe if you pick better men. Maybe if you
they know me. They know.
If you knew what a man was.
Listen. Oh shit!
Maybe if you stop thinking with, like you say, men always think with their penis. Maybe if you stop thinking with your heart. Well, you know what? Check this out. Let me ask y'all a question. What do y'all think women value the most? And what was your name again? Toya. That's right. My sister's name Toya. What do you think women? I'll ask you because you're a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Women in general, not you.
Okay.
If you can put yourself into this equation, cool, but it has to be the general population. It cannot just be how you feel.
Okay.
What do you think women value more? Their vagina or their heart?
Their vagina.
Exactly. And that's problematic. See, women will protect their vagina and freely give a bum ass nigga their heart.
Yeah. And
he will trample all over it. And then when they meet a man, they stumble into the presence of a man, and they're like, and he don't want her either. She's like, man, all these niggas the same. No, he saw all the drama in your mindset. He saw all the chaos that you would gravitate to. You may have tried to hide it, but men could see it.
Yeah.
Men on their purpose, men that got their stuff together, they don't have time to let chaos into their world. So when they don't deal with you, you think they ain't about nothing.
Right.
No, you ain't about nothing because you've been protecting your vagina too long, freely giving your heart away, and now you bitter.
Wow.
I'm just saying, it's facts. It's the same thing that we talk about. If a man is on his purpose and on his square and is doing what he needs to do, you really have no issue with attracting certain women, right? But it's up to the woman to make him go through those steps to prove that he's interested in her for real on a different level than she's what she's used to doing. But so many women I feel are not going through that discernment for that part of the process.
Well, what are they supposed to learn it?
That's what I was about to.
We talking about a hopeful adult, full-on women is who I'm hopefully referring to.
Like, okay, so, well, you don't know me. I have relationship shows. I was gonna
get to that, but yeah, talk about it.
And it's called Logic Over Emotions.
Okay.
And Kevin Samuels was the one that made me think about it, because I was just like, well, not every woman is gonna get that 1%. What about that dude? I want to hear from the dude that makes 30,000, 60,000. Like, what does he want? You know what I mean? I'm not trying to chase that, because a lot of women are not going to get that, right? And so to hear, when I look at like all of these people it's like 100 and some people on this wall that I have listened to their point of view. Okay. And a lot of women base their love life off of their mother. You see what I'm saying? Because that's the first person that you love. That's the person that you see as a super like hero, right? And so now you have this mind frame, but then you have women who go to college and they get introduced to a different mindset. So I feel like women grow their dating life changes when they go through major accomplishments, right? And I feel like those that decide that they don't want the same bullshit, they go get therapy. You know what I mean? And the reason why I'm saying that is because I see a difference with myself since I've taken therapy, and I've seen how single women keep single women single. You see what I'm saying? And I'm just I just sit there and I'm just listening to men on my show, and it's also crazy because men are more feminine now. So now women are coming to men like their girlfriends. You see what I'm saying? And that, I feel like that's the problem, because Black women tend to talk to their kids. They make their kids surrogate husbands. Do you see what I'm saying? And due to that, we have more feminine men. And then the women want to be like, well, I don't need you, because now they're sitting in their masculine and they're attracting all these feminine men. And now they're like, well, those good ones are out there. No good ones are out there. It's because that's what they're attracting. Do you see what I'm saying? So when you talk about, where do these women see this at? They don't see it at all until they get therapy.
I don't think they see it in therapy either.
You don't think so?
Well, you got to think about it. Where the therapists learning this at?
No, I have a male therapist. So
Is he a man though?
No, yes, he's a man.
You sure?
Yes, he is.
You know him personally?
I'm starting to get to know him personally.
Okay, but listen, he has a job to make himself appear to be such a thing.
Right. But on top of that, I do understand, because now as I believe before a person opens up their mind of where I am in my life, I feel like you should test them. I test my therapist. You see what I'm saying? Because now I have open, like you said, we as women will protect our vaginas, but we won't protect our hearts in our head. So once a man gets a part of your head, he can get a lot of things. So there's things that I have asked him. There's things that I have, we have now on our Friday show, we teach red wine. We teach how to teach Black people how to drink wine, taste wine. And I have a therapy corner, and I let other people basically vet him and his mind state. You see what I'm saying? So not only I have someone, well, Knox hasn't come yet, but
I work on Fridays.
I know, but one day he'll come, you know what I'm saying? Or I have people like you that will call and they will ask him questions to make me see, because you can't fake it with everybody. You can't. I talk to you all the day, but now you're on my show. You're talking for 30 minutes or more. And I got people from calling in talking to you. So now I'm seeing how you are interacting to all these questions. So it's showing me also as a man. He is older than me. He's I think he's like 60 something. He's been in a marriage for 45 years. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So
I was thinking maybe he was gonna be like some of these dudes.
No. I'd have been cut that off if that was the case.
No, he's like 60. He's been in a marriage for 45 years. And, I ask him certain questions, and he makes me look at myself like, man, women are so fucked up.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, and it's like...
And that's the reason why I got a male therapist, because I didn't want a
you can't have a female therapist.
What? Right. But some women do that.
But no women should.
I know that.
No women should go listen to other women, period. I don't care if she's married or not. A woman... So
go ahead.
This is about to piss me off. If a woman doesn't have a competent man in her life, she's losing. I don't care how much money she got. I don't care how much her education is. I don't care how world renowned she is. If you don't have a competent man in your life, and I don't like putting anything before man, but notice I'll put competent, because competent just solidifies all the things I said, being a lover, leader, provider, protector. High value don't solidify that.
Right? Nope.
Good don't solidify that. Competent does.
Right.
You understand your role. You understand your responsibilities, and you execute. You don't have to have... A guy can make $40,000 a year and be a man.
Yeah.
That if a woman chooses to be with him, she just needs to understand that this man's earning was only 50K. So I know there's a lot of things that we may not be able to do.
Right.
And if you can subscribe to that, but if you can't, it doesn't diminish him as a man.
It does
It
not.
takes some stuff off your needs
man
list.
for you.
I got you.
Right.
But that's the thing. You live in a
Well, first your wants list.
Yeah.
Most of your needs should still be able to be covered.
It's like you live in a society now, like that's the bar. Like everything is like the bag. Like in everything else, and you'll compromise pretty much anything else about yourself or what you accept because of the bag. That's why you see people fucking embarrassing themselves, men and women. And women especially, like you said, they want to go fucking pop bottles, stand on the couch. And they could just your year just in that club. What you should have done was ask them for half of that because you're struggling, sis. But like that's the shit we attracted to.
We like I told you, excitement.
Yeah.
Black women are drawn to excitement and chaos. That's why Real Housewives of Atlanta is so popular. That's why Love and Basketball shows are so popular. That's why Love and Hip Hop and all that stuff is popular because, well, I mean, you can watch it if you understand it's just entertainment, right?
No, but
most women
don't do that.
No,
they can't.
Listen. When I say you could watch it, I don't mean women should watch it. I'm saying you as a person.
No, I get what you're saying. I'm just saying nobody knows how to do that.
They can't separate it. Yeah.
That's the reason why Atlanta is how it is now.
They can't separate.
My lady watches those shows, right? She don't watch them religiously or anything, but she watches them, and I watch them with her. And she don't subscribe to that.
But do you think it could be because she has a competent man?
No, she was this way before she met me. Otherwise, we wouldn't be together.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. I'm not going to, I think I validated her and raised her value. But that doesn't mean she didn't already have value,
it.
Right. She already had enough value to catch my attention and actually get me to forsake other women. But she obviously got better with me because if I wasn't better for her, I mean, if I wasn't adding value to her life, why would she be with me? That would be stupid. That would be, again, not knowing how to date, right? She understood that there's other guys that liked her. There's other guys that had money or influence or whatever, but she's like, look, they ain't you. Right. And I'm sitting here saying these other women have money, influence, whatever, but they ain't you.
Yeah.
Right. And so if women learn how to date better, and here's the other thing. When you have a kid by someone, I don't care if he's a bum. You better find a way to stick with him.
Come on.
Because you made a baby with this person. That kid needs to see that man daily. Yeah.
That's what
and
I'm
if they
saying.
don't see that person's face daily and hear that person's voice daily, you are setting that kid up for failure.
Say it louder for the fucking people in the back.
Come on, man.
And so women leave men, and this is why for the Bible thumpers, right? Because I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. I'm not an atheist by no stretch of the imagination. So a lot of people are like, oh, but that ain't the Bible. It's like, I know the Bible better than most people I come in contact with. I'm like, because I realize people don't read the Bible. I read the Bible. I don't read it religiously, but it's the book. I read the Bible more than any other book in the world. I don't read anything more. I don't read self-help books or how to become a millionaire books. I read the Bible more than any other book. So for the Bible thumpers, they'll be like, well, you need to be married. You need to be married. But they're also okay with divorce.
But only okay, you're saying, okay, let me stop. Go ahead. Because I'm a Bible thumper, but
well, let's thump it. Let's thump it.
So let's thump it.
How do you
because my thing is divorce
let
is
me
not
ask you the question real quick. So how do you feel, think, or believe? Notice 3. Feel, think, and believe, right? Not just feel. I'm gonna leave no alone because no is we get real arrogant when we say we know and we talk about the Bible, right? Yeah. Feel, think, and believe about the Bible. You can throw no in there. What do you know, think, feel, believe about divorce?
Well, far as the Bible is concerned, it is allowed.
Okay.
Okay. And it's allowed under certain stipulations.
What are they?
One is adultery. Another one is what is it? It's in Ephesians. I have to pull it up. One's adultery. Another one is.
You want me to help you out?
Yeah.
Because I've been Googling. Okay, so.
Yeah. One's adultery.
Don't trust Google.
No, I can go into Ephesians, but right.
Go ahead. We'll work with Google.
Yeah. This is example, Matthew 5:31-32. I don't even know how I'm doing this. Anyway,
because you open the door.
But that's what
it was also said, whoever divorces his wife except on the grounds of porneia, sexual morality, makes her an adulteress, and whoever marries a divorced woman commits adultery, which is already wild. But that was just one example of.
So let's deal with that.
Okay.
Because you mentioned. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No,
You have more? Go ahead.
No,
You got
go
a big
ahead.
verse?
Okay, so if we're gonna deal with that adultery one, right?
Yes.
Cool. So you get a divorce. Can she remarry?
No.
Okay, but they do.
I don't know.
So what's the point of him? He could cheat if she can remarry, right?
Right.
Ain't no sin greater than the other. Only thing is blaspheming the Holy Spirit.
Right.
So that's the only sin unforgivable.
Right.
So if you're not gonna forgive this man for stepping out on you, why should God forgive you for remarrying?
Right.
The Bible tells you to stay divorced unless you reconcile back to your husband.
Right. But at the end of the day, right? So you have people who
Picking and choosing.
Yeah, because a lot of people pick and choose the narrative of the Bible that fits their life. Yeah, like I get that. So when we sit here and we talk about, forgiving and adultery and stuff like that, I believe there's a certain
He got that good water.
Listen,
I know, smart water.
Smart water. Where the dumb water at?
Yeah.
I guess I got the dumb water right now. Kirkland's is dumb water.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about the believer and the non-believer, right? And it does get, this is the other way of a divorce, right?
Oh, we don't talk about non-believers though. Everybody we talking about are believers. So
no, you let me finish my little thing.
No, you're right. But what I'm saying is the people who we're talking about are all believers. So I don't entertain the people. It would be dumb to bring non-believers.
No, you didn't let me finish. Let me finish. Another way of divorce is if the non-believer leaves the believer.
Right.
That's the second one. So,
but that will go back to picking dumb. Why would it will go.
Right. Right. I understand that. Right. But on top of that, there's some situations where people are like, I know someone right now, both of them wasn't believers. Right. And then they lost their son to SIDS. So that caused her to become a believer.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying? And then in the midst of all of that, they bumped heads because now she's like, listen, this is what I believe, but she's staying with him. But like I said, I believe still the book, I think it's the book of Ephesians or whatever, where it says if it says adultery, if the non-believer leaves the believer, then they're allowed to get out of that situation.
Right, but we're talking about, again,
you asked me what things in the Bible are allowed you to have divorce, and I'm telling you that.
Right, but what I'm saying is if people pick right, they don't get that get out of jail free card, right? And at the end of the day, men don't leave women. Women leave men. Yeah. So we're not talking, there's not a lot of men who left their families and left these kids and women being single moms and just left their woman and their kids. That don't happen. Women leave men and take the kids. Now, I'm not talking about when women leave males. Notice I said men. Men don't leave their offsprings.
That's true.
So we cannot use these false equivalents and try to use it and muddy the waters. Is like, well, in the book of Ephesians, it talks about the believer and the non-believer. Well, we're not talking about non-believers. Right. And if we are talking about non-believers, how did you get in bed with a non-believer? Then you say, well, at the time I was a non-believer. Okay, so we're going to look for a needle in a haystack now. Yeah. How often do you meet how often do you meet two black people in America that are both non-believers? Right. And they find each other and they're in a relationship with each other. And then one becomes a believer. How often does that happen? How often though? It's not
often, but it's not like, in a book.
So we're majoring. So that will be us majoring in the minor. We're finding that needle in the haystack and talking about it as if it's the norm.
But then we don't know because it's not being talked about. It could be a norm.
I don't know anybody that say they don't believe in God. Now, I've met people who don't believe in God, but I don't know anyone that doesn't believe in God.
I think
everybody. Okay, I'm looking at stuff a little bit then, because I feel like people believe in God, but they don't believe in the same God, and those are two separate things.
Well, I don't know about that, but everybody I know believes in the Bible.
Right.
So when you say you believe in the Bible, right, you believe in Jesus, then it's like, okay, so have I met atheists? Yes, I've met non-believers. Have I ever interacted with them enough to
find out that they're also with a non-believer? And have I ever been in relationship with them long enough for one of them to become a believer? And then have I been in relationship with them long enough for the non-believer to actually leave the one who believes for that scenario to play out for me to have?
Well, I have because I've been doing this for 3 years. I have met all of that.
Okay,
do you see what I'm saying?
How often do you meet it?
How often in my industry? I mean, in my life, often. Do you see what I'm saying?
Then? Give me an idea. So
I'm saying in my world.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because your world, you haven't ran into those type of people.
In your world, how many people have you met like this, where two people were non-believers and they met each other and one became a believer?
I know 3 people.
Okay, so in your lifetime.
Yes.
That's a needle in a haystack. You're an exception to the rule, right? Most people don't have your testimony. You have a testimony that I've met 3 couples like this. That's crazy high numbers in my world.
Right.
I'm sure there's crazy high numbers in their world and every other person we come in contact with.
You're talking about an exception of an exception.
Yeah,
of an exception.
because you're such an exception and it's becoming your reality, you might start looking at the world like it happens more than it happens. It doesn't happen that often. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm saying it doesn't happen enough for us to build a blueprint and a framework.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I'm building a blueprint and framework around the average person, not the exception.
Got it.
There's always an exception to every rule.
Right.
And if I focus on the exception, I will have to become a specialist. And I can only deal with these type of people.
Ow.
And therefore, my work, I will then come in contact with a lot of those people, right? Because I will be seeking those people out.
Right.
And then I will be able to tell people countless stories. Yeah. And they're like, well, you specialize in that. It's like, how many people you know that's had brain surgery?
2.
But brain surgeons see it all the time.
Right.
So in their world, brain surgeries happen all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know anybody but one person that had brain surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we got to be careful that we don't let our limited experience, even though it may be a high magnitude for us.
That's why I said my world.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But we do that. And again, we keep trying to get the world to conform to our world, instead of realizing we must conform to this world.
Right.
We live in this world, but not be of it per se. Learn how to navigate it.
Right.
Right. We can't bend the world. Like now we got these transgenders and everything. Right. Everybody want to sit here and be like, well, you know, I saw somebody on the live today talking about transgender, like therapy. And I'm a big fan of coaching over therapy, even though I believe therapy is a form of coaching. But I believe coaching because I think therapy is meant for when people are at ground zero. You come out the womb at ground zero, right? Mm-hmm. You get damaged along the way, and therapists bring you back to ground zero, and then their job is done.
Right.
Coaching then picks up from there and take you across the finish line.
Right.
Therapy don't get you across the finish line. It gets you back to the starting line.
Right.
Coaches can take you from that bottom and bring you back to ground zero and across the finish line.
Right.
If they can communicate with you in your space where you at.
Right.
If they can't, then you might have to go seek someone who specializes in that.
Just like pastors, you have to seek the person that talks to you.
But their specialty only goes so far, like a brain surgeon. He can't help you when your arm hurting. You're like,
that's gonna go from there.
I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. You got in the car accident, you hurt a lot of different parts of your body. I'm only gonna deal with the brain.
How's your brain?
Yeah.
Brain straight.
Brain straight. All right, cool. I'll call 911 for you.
So we gotta understand that this whole thing that we're trying to do, and the two areas of focus I think we need to focus on is blaming women, shaming them, and not in a public way, and not in a derogatory, demeaning way, shaming them and for them to look at themselves and be like, I shouldn't be doing this, right? By creating standards of what we as a community expect, then looking at males and saying, hey, you don't get to participate over here because you haven't gone through your rites of passage. You want to be a part of the community? We want you a part of the community. You got to go out there and fight that bear. You got to go figure things out so we know you are an asset and a value to the community. Then you can come in. Ladies, you want to stay in this community? You cannot do certain things because if you do, you will no longer be welcomed here. And we don't have that. Our community is trash because we don't believe in shame. And I don't mean shaming like pointing knots out, like I'm going to embarrass you and call out your faults and everything to make you feel bad and shame you that way. I'm shaming you by creating a standard that we as a community have all adopted and you know you don't fit it.
So you believe in order to get to enlightenment, you have to be shamed.
Well, let me make sure you understand. I mean, tell me what you think I mean by shame. Like when you say shame, how are you deriving to the shame?
Feeling some type of remorse or guilt about
Okay.
a certain situation.
Yes, I believe in that because guess what? You got 3 brothers in here. Let's say the bar is set that to be considered a provider in America, you have to make $100,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
The 3 of us, whether anybody said anything or not, we would feel the shame if we didn't make $100,000 a year, right? Because we know what the bar is.
Yeah.
No one has to say it. No one has to point it out and be like, you don't make 100,000. Like everybody feels shame when they post those grades in school, right?
Mm.
You know what the grade is. You know what the passing, what the standard in your family is.
Why did they need
get
a
an A?
Yep.
And then you go get a B. You feel bad. Your parents don't even have to tell you. Why'd you bring home this B? You're like, oh, I got a B.
Right.
I got to go have this talk.
Yep.
Got it, mom, dad.
Because of the standard.
I got it because of the standard.
I don't know who this guy is. I don't know this evolved picking and choosing we got right now.
This ain't evolved. You know what the difference is?
What's the difference, bro?
Y'all not arguing with me.
Well, the thing about it is, I
see what you're saying.
Right.
I see what you're saying.
But see, I don't think, like I said, due to the fact that I've been doing this for a very long time, there's no need for me to argue with you if we're having a discussion.
But I'm telling Knots why he see a different experience on Instagram.
Yeah, because most of the people would have been cut him off. Well, how can you? And you can't allow. And I never live my life. I'm doing the head nod for a reason because this is what you can see.
So this is our first conversation we're ever having, right? So I'm listening, and if you come in here and you say some shit that I find disagreeable or I think is a bunch of fucking holes in it, I'm gonna shoot at them shits.
Yep.
Like, nah, brother, you wildin'.
Yeah.
But if it's not, go ahead. It don't matter if I differ from your opinion. That shit is irrelevant to me.
Right.
I don't give a damn.
Right.
I like shit that nobody else likes. So what? Fuck, what you eat don't make me shit. It don't matter to me.
Right.
It's irrelevant to how I think, what I believe. It don't matter. But if you're being logical and you using shit that makes sense, and I see, all right, that's his belief. And he's explaining, I believe this because of this, and I'm like, all right.
And that's the whole point of being accepting what he said.
But a lot of times
you have to accept, understand, and
then determine if you agree
or not.
They don't want to accept it. Motherfucker want everybody to believe exactly what they believe.
Yeah.
It's not realistic. It's not a real
for them
thing
to feel okay with where they are in their
so
life.
they can feel like they got something. No.
But see, this is the thing that I feel like where maybe if you, I shouldn't say if you, or maybe if you is not saying you should, right?
No,
it's
not
okay, so I can say, okay.
You better.
If you want these results.
yeah, not like that. But the reason why I asked if shame's the only option, if you have to go through shame to get enlightenment, right?
You don't have to go through shame to get it. You can listen to get enlightened as well.
Right. But when we talked about it, you said shames, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of times people get lost in the definition. And I like the fact that you were like, hold up. What does that shame mean? What is it? What does that word work for you? And I think what happens is that everybody has their own definition, just like date. We'll use the word dating, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has their own definition of dating, right? And so when you go, there's exclusive dating, there's you said,
listen.
you know what I'm saying? But what I'm trying to say is, have you ever had said that to some of your people? Have you ever asked them that?
Well, see, that's the difference. Watch this. You and I are getting somewhere because I say something. If you don't necessarily understand it, we're having a dialogue to make sure we're on the same page. You're not telling me you disagree. See, most people don't even understand the perspective that I'm coming from, but they're telling me they disagree or they're trying to tell me how it should be. So when I used the word shame, you didn't necessarily like it, but you were like, oh, okay. And we talked about it.
Right.
And then you realize I'm not trying to make women feel bad. And I want the shame to be indirect. It's direct, but indirect, right? We're not directly telling them,
right,
trying to shame them, but we're directly, they directly feel the effect like, yo, I failed.
Yeah, I felt
right.
But it's not to embarrass. It's not. It's not used for that.
Right. And I think that is where the water is muddy, right?
But it's not.
It may not be for you. I'm coming from no.
Okay, I got you. It's not though, but
I'm coming from a woman's perspective, right? So I can say, okay, shame is this, and that woman can say shame. Are different. We understand that what the ending goal of shame is, but then some people see shame as a negative thing, and some people see shame as a growing. This is because you're saying shame is a positive thing, right?
Well,
but if I use that word, no, listen. If I use that word and I do not give context about how I'm using that word, I'm going to already be offensive because your context of how you're saying it is not the same context of what I know that word is.
Right, but here's where the problem comes in. People get offended. Anytime something offends you, you should always seek clarity. Even if you think you're right, you need to confirm that you're right before you get offended.
Right.
And so I don't use that. Well, it depends on how people have no, people have a bad relationship with words.
Right.
That's why I said I'm big on words. You have to know what words mean. And if I use the word shame and you have a bad relationship with it, you're going to be offended. When you lack emotional intelligence, and I don't even like saying emotional intelligence, but when you lack emotional intelligence, you're going to be offended because you should be, and then you're going to, when you lack emotional intelligence, you're going to respond outwardly. You're going to get facial expressions. You're going to say words. You're going to have actions, and you're going to show how immature you are in this regard of this conversation. So if you as a person want to be better, if you want to be better, when you hear things you don't like, you will want first seek clarity. Like think about when we out and about, us out and about mean general black people out and about, and a white person say nigga. Now we just jump off. We lack emotional intelligence. That person was able to say one word and completely
just throw
put that battery in our back, right?
Right.
A lot of people are like, what you say? That's seeking clarity, understanding, getting this person to confirm and solidify what it is that they are saying. So then if you do still respond that way, at least you got clarification. You understand that when you commit to whooping on that anus,
You got clarification about
you
this
understand why you did what you did, and you didn't just react to a word that was
Just
said.
so we
Right. Right.
So again, shame, when standards are created, shame automatically exists.
Right.
But because we have no standards, we have no shame. You feel bad if your mama told you as a kid, told you not to do something, and we do it anyway. We cool as long as nobody find out.
Right.
The moment somebody find out, we don't even know if they gonna tell our mama or not, but we automatically feel the shame because we know if they go and tell our mama what we did, we gonna have to face them consequences.
Right.
Because we know there's a standard that exists. So if people get mad or triggered by the word shame, that's telling you they don't like standards. You shame or they're so naive, they don't understand that standards automatically create shame. If you have a household and you guys, every kid in this household goes to Ivy League schools, that's the norm. Our whole family goes, and then you don't test in,
Right.
you can't get into Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Brown. You can't get into one of these schools. You don't think shame isn't automatically going to fall on you? You're like, oh my gosh. Shame has to exist if you want any type of upper echelon logic or philosophy or perspective or standards. If you don't have that, shame is gone.
Because I feel like women look at shame like as body shaming.
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
that's bad relationship with words.
Right. And
Immature.
that's what, right. And I feel like that is the reason why people automatically hear certain words and get upset.
That's definitely part of it. That's definitely part of your life.
And that's what I feel like happens. A lot of people don't.
How do you think we can fix that?
That's my question.
How we
You
can
a
fix
woman?
it?
Yeah,
How do you think we can fix that? We did clarity, right? Asking clarity.
No, we did tonight.
No.
Well, you mean get to
How do
me.
we fix this problem?
How do you fix this problem? You have to change the narrative
How do you do that?
through podcasts, through therapy, through.
Do you think women that don't want to be held accountable is listening to me and taking accountability for their actions?
I feel like some women are.
Yeah, but
I feel like
women...
right, but you have to think about it too, right? You have done your part. We'll say we can go Bible thumping. You have done your part as a Christian if you brought one person, right? So therefore, if you brought one woman to enlightenment, right, that means that she can spawn at least one or two.
Absolutely, one teach two, teach two, three, three teach four,
and that's how you change it. We can't change it as a whole. We can't change it. We can't change it as this big old lump sum. but we can plant a seed in order for it to grow, and that's how you change it.
I agree with you 100%. But now you're about to make a point that you just made a point that I make all the time. People always tell me, why don't you teach men? And I'm like, do y'all not realize how many women are in my DMs thanking me? See, you think because publicly they don't say anything. You think if I was just getting ridiculed and hate 24/7, I will keep doing what I'm doing.
But I'm saying, I would say the reason I can, because I like to be the devil's advocate, right? Or whatever. I've been doing that, whatever. I think the reason why some of the women do that is because if they see you is like, okay, there needs to be more men like him in order for us to get this result. So I think that's the reason why that maybe some, because that's like this. If you have, like, let's go ahead. If you have standards, morals, and values that women are like, hey, you need to teach more men, meaning that you are the anomaly, right? And so therefore they're like, okay, we need to teach, even though there may be a group of women that are like, oh my God, he's a narcissist. There's some women that are like, okay, we need to promote more of you because these men don't see this.
But
you see what I'm saying?
But okay,
but that's not what you're doing. I'm talking about, I'm coming from the viewpoint of why a woman would tell you that.
But that's not why they're doing it. What they're saying is, I'm not qualified to help women. See what you're saying. See, you have already spilled the beans and told us you went to therapy. You're telling us you're doing some work.
Yeah.
So you're not them, right? You're not the female counterparts that I'm talking to.
No, I understand that, but at the end of the day, I was one of those. Yeah, I mean, not like that, because
I know what you mean.
You know what I'm saying? But I was not in therapy.
But
you know what I'm saying?
Listen, they're not. But listen, this is what they're saying. I want to make sure you hear clearly what they're saying to me. You're not qualified to talk to us women. We're not going to listen to you. You need to go talk to those men, you misogynistic hater of women, you narcissist. So they're saying,
they love throwing that word around.
They're saying
a lot of them don't know what a narcissist is.
They don't. But what they're saying is, I hate what you are about. Please go teach other men to be more of you. Think about that.
It's stupid.
Right. But why
Zero
would
logic applied.
You should say to me, you know what? And I've been told you're dividing our community. I'm supposed to divide the community, you dummy.
Right.
We need a division. We need to ostracize the males. We need to get rid of the women who don't subscribe to being under the rule of having shame applied to their lives. These are the problematic people in our community. Everybody can't go. Everybody can't go.
Hurting feelings now.
What hurt? Like everybody.
But
can go.
everybody wants a message. They want us to live in they want us to be in Babylon, right? They're like, oh, well, they listen. I am not going. This is not the book of Acts. I cannot speak in one tone, one tongue, and all these nations understand what I'm saying.
Right.
I am speaking like Jesus. Jesus didn't even speak to every damn body.
Right.
He spoke in parables. He wanted certain people to understand what he was saying and other people not to understand. Everybody can't go.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
and if we keep on acting like, well, you need to be all inclusive. Why don't you just try to help other people understand? Don't you want to be everybody? No, I don't want everybody in here. Do you? If you throw a party at your house, do you want every black person in America to show up?
No.
Right. That's a fact.
No.
So why we keep acting like we so all inclusive and we want everybody? Let's just keep it real. We don't. There's going to be a hierarchy. The people up top going to look down on the people at the bottom. The people at the bottom going to look up and wish there was the people at the top.
That's a fact, Jet.
That's it. Back to you know what? That's a perfect way to end it. I don't even need to go further. Brother, tell them one more time where they can find you and hear more of this. I don't want to say ministry. Just hear more from you. Let me not even do that. Because you got to go on with now with the Bible and then go ahead.
Yeah, my curfew. I was supposed to be in bed.
I know. I appreciate you too. We do.
So,
his girlfriend or his wife. I'm sorry. I told him 9:15.
So, you can find me on Instagram, Picking and Choosing. I go live on that platform. I am probably going to start going live on YouTube, only because I want to be able to control people's microphones. Sick of Instagram. These people just talk. They won't cam down. They break the live all the time. Right. So I'll probably be switching over using StreamYard and going through live streaming through YouTube. And also, somebody want to give a shout out real quick to what I'm trying to do. I don't care anything about being dating coach anymore. I mean, I'll coach women. My fee is high as hell.
Need to be.
You know, it's starting at minimum $1,000. If you can't afford it, I just ain't the coach for you.
Yep.
Go do your thing. Go find somebody else or struggle, trial and error, figure it out on your own. Right. But I'm gonna make it worth my time. I do well for myself, and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to teach young males how to become men, and I'm trying to teach men how to be better providers. I'm hiring right now. My company, I own a credit card processing company. I'm teaching young men, women too. Women want to work. I don't like women working, but if women want to work, I'll help them. Teaching young men and women how to increase their net worth. The average girl that works in my company, if they fully commit to what my company and follow the blueprint that I have for them, they'll be making about $175,000 a year. Yeah. So we are a very successful company. We have the means to really catapult people to another level. We just need bodies, and we need people who are wanting to learn. And so I sell life insurance. I'm starting to hate selling life insurance. The process is terrible. I want people to have life insurance, but I'm starting to hate selling it. But I sell life insurance. I've got a insurance company, merchant services company, and I am teaching people. I'm sorry, not teaching. I am working on people build credit, and I'm also gonna start back working on that TV show. Okay, Reverse Matrimony. Okay, so yeah. That's what I got going on. That's what's
up, man. Sort of for them to find out about all of those things, especially about the jobs, the high paying jobs, they can contact you directly.
Yep. Okay. Shoot me a DM on Picking and Choose.
That's it. It's pinned in the comments right now.
Yeah. I'll make sure when we do the write up.
I need a new job.
Listen. You not alone.
It's not you, woman.
Yo.
Let me put this tidbit out there. So that's $175,000 is residual income. So whether you go to work or not, and it's not multi-level marketing.
No network marketing.
No network marketing.
I ain't gonna bring my cousin in.
It is sales. If you don't want to do sales, do not DM me.
Gotcha. Yeah.
You're wasting your time. And it's commission based. It is not a base salary.
Okay.
Do not call.
Because that's all. I'm glad you specified that.
Yeah. Don't reach out to me.
Will said I started at $95 an hour.
Lies.
No, that's the important part of it.
Words matter, right?
You trying to make the world bend to you.
Oh man,
bend to this world.
That's it. Will,
I appreciate y'all for having me, man.
No, man, thank you, bro.
Just thank you, man. Thank you. No, I appreciate it. I hope everybody got something from it because I did. You know, I'm laughing because when we spoke and he was like, "We got something," I was like, "No," I said, "It's some shit. This is just wrong." Then I'm gonna say it's wrong.
What was wrong tonight? Did I say it?
Nah, everything was. It's perspective and it's opinion, and that's fine. But I think we got a bad habit, man, in this world in general of somebody don't just believe the same exact thing you do. We use the word shame. They don't use that to shame you. Like, oh, you ain't shit. You don't know nothing about it. So why? Because I don't believe exactly what you believe. Right. That shit, it's the dumbest thing ever, and I just can't believe we use that as a bar. Like when people was coming on, it's like, oh, he doing this, doing it. I'm like, okay, that's your opinion. Like, I read a little comments. Okay, that's your opinion. Yeah. Like, I don't have to like it. I don't have to like it. And that's what everybody's problem. They want everything to conform, like you said, just to them. Like, and it don't have to be like that. So I appreciate the opinion. I appreciate the perspective.
I love it. I'm looking forward to this. I'm gonna just leave it at that, man. Yeah, y'all both said a lot of great things. I really can't wait to chop this up because there's a lot of bars. Toya, thank you for contributing because it definitely wouldn't have got to this level without you coming from behind rafters. But let's get out of here. On 3,
3, 2, 1.
Yerrrrr.
And you